A very good evening and welcome to the News Tonight, your one-stop for the day's top stories from India and across the world. I'm Tracy Shilchi and here are the headlines. Union Cabinet clears the Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2016. It prohibits commercial surrogacy and allows ethical surrogacy only for needy infertile couples. No exceptions made for NRIs, single parents, live-in or gay couples. On a day when Home Minister Rajnath Singh reaches Srinagar to hold talks with stakeholders in Kashmir, the United States raises concerns over human rights violations in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, tells Pakistan to resolve its internal problems. Highly sensitive documents on technical and stealth capabilities of India's Scorpene submarines reported to be leaked. Defense Ministry and the French government order investigations. Supreme Court pulls up Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha for defamation suit against a media online portal. Says as a public figure, she has to face criticism and cannot throttle democracy. And North Korea provokes again, test fires yet another missile defying UNSC resolutions. All neighbors, including ally China, condemn the action. The top talking point of the day, a draft bill which aims to ban commercial surrogacy and safeguard the rights of surrogate mothers has been cleared by the Union Cabinet. The law also bans unmarried, live-in and gay couples from opting for altruistic surrogacy. Here are more details.
तो एक संतुलन बैठाया जाए कि कमर्शियल सरोगेसी को पूर्ण रूप से प्रतिबंधित कर दिया जाए, लेकिन इस तरह के रिश्तेदार अगर आगे आकर मदद करते हैं तो उस पर रेगुलेट करते हुए उसकी अनुमति दी जाए.
The Union Cabinet has given its nod to the Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2016. The bill will ensure effective regulation of surrogacy, prohibit commercial surrogacy and allow ethical surrogacy to needy infertile couples.
सबसे पहली बात, इस बिल के माध्यम से केवल भारतीय नागरिकों को ही ये अधिकार दिया जा रहा है अल्ट्रुइस्टिक सरोगेसी का भी. विदेशी नागरिक और यहां तक कि ओसीआई कार्ड होल्डर्स को भी अनुमति नहीं होगी. जो दंपति इस तरह का बच्चा चाहता है, सरोगेट चाइल्ड, वो कानूनी रूप से विवाहित होना चाहिए, शादीशुदा होने चाहिए आपस में. अविवाहित को अनुमति नहीं होगी, सिंगल पेरेंट की अनुमति नहीं होगी, लिव इन रिलेशनशिप की अनुमति नहीं होगी, होमोसेक्सुअल कपल्स को अनुमति नहीं होगी.
The bill also has stringent provisions for surrogacy clinics.
सरोगेसी क्लिनिक्स हैं, उनके बारे भी ये लगाया गया है कि एक तो उनका रजिस्टर्ड होना जरूरी है. कोई भी अनरजिस्टर्ड सरोगेसी क्लिनिक नहीं चल सकेगा. और इसको और ज्यादा अंकुश लगाने के लिए किया गया कि कोई भी सरोगेसी क्लिनिक यदि मां की उपेक्षा करता है, सरोगेट मदर की, या चाइल्ड को अबेंडन करने में सहायता करता है, या वो दंपति जो औरत की उपेक्षा करते हैं, जिसको उन्होंने, चाहे वो अब रिलेटिव ही होगी, लेकिन उसकी अगर उपेक्षा करते हैं या बच्चे को अबेंडन करते हैं तो कम से कम 10 साल की सजा, नॉट लेस देन 10 years, कम से कम 10 वर्ष की सजा होगी और 10 लाख रुपए तक का जुर्माना होगा.
The National Surrogacy Board at the central level and state surrogacy boards and appropriate authorities in the state and union territories will also be set up to regulate surrogacy. Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, for more on this story, we're joined by Supreme Court lawyer Shilpi Jain, joining us, in fact, from the capital. Shilpi, first of all, we'd like to know your thoughts really on this. It is, of course, remarkable in a sense that as far as surrogacy is concerned, this is being seen as a way to empower women. But at the same time, a lot of people speaking also of certain loopholes in this.
Legislation is serious business, and from what I see in the proposed bill, it will do more harm than good. At the moment, between the consenting parties, there is a contract. Now, this has banned commercial transaction. I don't see any good coming out of that. In other countries, they are charging as much as $100,000 for the same job. I mean, minimum is that much. Where is the harm if in a country like ours, where several millions of people are below the poverty line, if they make money in a respectful manner? I don't see any harm in that. Another thing is that, you know, they say that only close relatives can become donors. Here, I think they have tried to copy-paste some concepts from the Organ Transplant Act. There, the considerations are different. This is very impractical. You see, a close relative, say, if the eggs are to be fertilized by the sperm of another man, which is the process, one of the processes.
Yes.
A sister would not like to have it done by brother, would not like to have it done by her brother-in-law, would not like to have it done by her uncle. And also scientifically, in you know, it says that genetically it's not good.
Yes.
So I don't see any logic in it. It is not going to, and the fact that you ban commercial activities but keep the transaction on, it will only encourage underhand deals. What is the object of banning commercial activity here? When so many women, you know, they were making easy money out of it.
Yeah,
And if
one
the woman
argument,
is
of
a
course,
consenting woman
yes,
or the
one
man,
argument, of
what is
course,
the-
is a lot of women do get exploited by it, but you have to look at the bigger picture. India was, in fact, apart from Thailand, is one of the biggest places where foreigners do come in for surrogacy. But apart from this, Shilpi, you're talking about, you know, not just loopholes, you know, the bad effects, of course, of what this law could bring in. Another criticism for this that's coming in is that it has barred live-in couples. It's barred single parents, gay couples. Of course, they've really tried to cleanse it, you know, make it sanskari in a sense. Do you agree with that?
I'm not surprised this coming from the present government, this traditional pundits that they claim to be. You see, according to me, in many cases in India particularly, the people who would like to go in for this are those who are single because they don't have a man whom, so they would used to like IVF or be, you know, use a surrogate mother or a father. Now, there if you rule out in case of, and make it applicable only in case of infertile couples, they can even adopt. Here in our country, we don't have the concept of unwed mothers at all. It's a stigma. So those, in many cases, unwed mothers opt for surrogacy. And they could. What's wrong with it? Why this that only married couples? If a single parent can adopt, then why not they go for surrogacy? I don't know. It's against logic. It's against the practical implications of it. I think they need to really rethink before they make an act out of this.
All right, and very quickly, since
will
you
become
have,
very hazardous
yeah,
and very
Shilpi, very quickly,
complicated. I don't
because you
think it
have
will-
mentioned IVF. You know, how will this play out really in comparison with laws? You know, as far as pertaining to IVF, how do we see that?
Yeah, see, in IVF, the sperms are, you know, of a donor, or the eggs could be of a donor, and the eggs are made to fertilized by the sperms. Now, will the close relative do this? They will not like to do this for various reasons, as I mentioned earlier. And also, I know of some friends who used surrogacy, and they were single women, and they were very happy with the outcome. In the case of couples, you see, they can even adopt. I mean, what is the logic behind this that only couples can do it, infertile couples? A single parent can adopt. So why is there this distinction?
All right.
It beats all logic.
All right.
I mean, can they give any explanation for this?
All right, let's hope in the days to come, especially with the kind of criticism, the kind of reactions is similarly like yours coming in. Let's see if more you know, explanations do come in from the government. But thanks for the moment, Shilpi, for joining us on this story. I'm sure for the days to come, we will be talking about this. Meanwhile, the other top story of the day, Home Minister Rajnath Singh reached Srinagar today to review the security situation in the valley and hold talks with various stakeholders in the state. Meanwhile, fresh clashes in Pulwama district kill a youth and injured 9 security personnel. Here are the details.
On a day when Home Minister Rajnath Singh visited Srinagar, the Kashmir Valley continued to simmer on Wednesday. Despite an improvement in the overall ground situation, fresh clashes were reported between protesters and security forces in Pulwama district, where a youth was killed. Home Minister Rajnath Singh is on a 2-day visit to hold talks with various stakeholders in Kashmir. Rajnath Singh said he will meet anyone who believes in Kashmiriyat, Insaniyat and Jamhuriyat. After his arrival, the Home Minister was briefed by top civil, army, police and paramilitary officials about the prevailing situation.
Absolutely serious about restoring normalcy as far as possible and as early as possible, and certainly Centre is taking all steps in that direction in coordination with the state government, and I'm sure things will come back to normal, which is also the yearning and the desire of the common citizens of Jammu and Kashmir.
Opposition parties and political leaders welcomed the centre's efforts in bringing normalcy in the Kashmir Valley.
This is part of an ongoing process of engagement with the government of India because we believe that it is very important that a political dialogue be initiated with the stakeholders of Jammu and Kashmir. And we will continue to press for those issues, both short term in terms of excessive use of force, in terms of the injuries and loss of life on account of the pellet guns, but also the medium to long term, which is the initiation of a sustained, meaningful dialogue to find what, in the words of the Prime Minister, is a lasting solution.
Let us see what he does, because finally Kashmir is not just law and order problem. It's a political problem and it needs a political solution. And government should initiate a political process.
पहली बार एक सार्थक दिशा में चीजों को जाता हुआ देख रहा हूँ। हमारे अपने नागरिक हैं, आक्रोश है, गुस्सा है, संवाद से खत्म होगा। आप संवाद को, जमहूरियत में संवाद अगर ना हो तो वो मकबूल नहीं होती है, महफूज नहीं रहती है। और वो हम हर पीछे दौर में भी जब कभी दिक्कतें आए, सिर्फ संवाद, बातचीत, सुनना, बोलना, ये दोनों तरफ से जब तक नहीं होगा तब तक बात नहीं बनेगी।
Meanwhile, the United States raised concerns over the human rights situation in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The move is being seen as a vindication of the Modi-led BJP government's stand on the issue. The United States appealed to all parties in Pakistan to iron out their differences amicably.
Respectfully beg to differ. I mean, we do have concerns about the human rights situation there. I've reported it for several years in our human rights report, and we've obviously are always urging all parties in Pakistan to work out their differences peaceably and through a valid political process. And with respect to Kashmir, our policy there is well known.
The Border Security Force has been deployed in Pulwama district, where 9 security personnel, including an officer, have been injured. Meanwhile, curfew is in force in some areas of Srinagar and South Kashmir, while restrictions on the assembly of people in the rest of the valley continued for the 47th day in a row. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Indian Navy suffered a huge data leak relating to the 6 Scorpene-class submarines being made by French company DCNS in India. The leaked information is reported to include the operating manual of Scorpene submarines, excerpts of which have been released online by an Australian newspaper. Here are more details.
The Defence Ministry and the Indian Navy came in for a rude shock on Wednesday, with an Australian newspaper reporting the leak of highly sensitive documents detailing the technical and stealth capabilities of India's Scorpene submarines. 6 Scorpene-class submarines are being made by India in partnership with French company DCNS. The first of them, INS Kalvari, has even begun sea trials and is likely to be inducted later this year. The leak could inflict a damage of $3.5 billion on India. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar said it could be a case of hacking, while also ordering an immediate probe by the Indian Navy.
मैंने चीफ ऑफ नेवी उनको बोला है कि वो पूरा विश्लेषण करें उसका क्या लीक हुआ है, हमारे बारे में उसमें क्या है, कितना हद तक उसका अगर है तो लीक.
Running into 22,400 pages, the leaked data gives away the entire secret combat and performance capabilities of the Scorpene-class submarines, including what frequencies they gather intelligence at, what levels of noise they make at various speeds, and their diving depths, range, and endurance. It also discloses the magnetic, electromagnetic, and infrared data and specifications of the submarine's torpedo launch system and the combat system. It's not yet clear who first obtained the confidential documents, but they were made public on Wednesday by the Australian media. News reports claim the leaks were made in France, following which the French manufacturing company DCNS announced a formal investigation to determine the exact nature of the documents. The leak created furor in the political circle, with opposition parties demanding a clarification from the government.
despite this Himalayan blunder that has deeply hurt India's defense preparedness, explanation of Modi government and defense minister is, it's a case of mere hacking. Both the defense minister of India, Shri Manohar Parrikar, Modi government and Indian Navy are currently engaged in operation cover-up instead of operation fixation of responsibility.
Government must immediately order a high-level inquiry, find out the truth. Then, after that, we can consider future course of actions.
According to experts, the leak is massive and a matter of huge concern.
This is a significant compromise of the credibility of the underwater platform, because a submarine is all about not being detected. And if you look at the technical detail that has been put out in some of the sections, I was quite struck by one part which spoke about the acoustic signature.
It has also sparked great concern in Australia, as the DCNS group has been signed up by the country for a $38 billion deal to design its future fleet. However, the leaked documents do not contain any details of the vessel currently being designed for Australia. Marked Restricted Scorpion India, the leaked documents could provide an intelligence bonanza to India's strategic rivals like Pakistan and China. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
A powerful earthquake measuring 6.7 on the Richter scale with its epicenter in Myanmar shook several parts of East and Northeast India on Wednesday. According to the National Center for Seismology, the earthquake occurred at a depth of 58 kilometers. The 14-story West Bengal Secretariat building was evacuated and metro rail services were affected. Tremors were also felt in Bihar and most northeastern states as well, spreading panic among people. There were no immediate reports of loss to life or property. India's northeast is one of the most earthquake-prone regions in the world. With that, let's take you through what else made news across the country today in Nationwide. Supreme Court today severely chastised Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha for using criminal defamation proceedings to silence her government's actions. The court made these observations while hearing a petition filed by DMDK Chief A. Vijaykanth. He was seeking the quashing of a defamation case filed against him by the Tamil Nadu government. The court said that public figures must face criticism and cannot use defamation cases to throttle democracy. Delhi University released its 7th cut-off list for admissions to the undergraduate courses for the academic year 2016-17. The admission process will begin from the 24th of August. Although the new academic session has already commenced, seats in a few courses are still vacant. The university plans to release 2 more cut-off lists to fill the remaining 6,500 seats. The last and final list will be released on the 29th of August. The Enforcement Directorate today summoned Nalini Chidambaram for questioning in connection with the Sharda chit fund scam. She is the wife of former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram and was dragged into the scam after the chairman of the busted chit fund claimed he paid more than 1 crore rupees to her at the instance of Manoranjana Singh, the estranged wife of Congress leader Matang Singh. Three people were arrested today in connection with the murder of Gujarat journalist Kishore Dave. He was stabbed to death in his office on Monday night. The trio have confessed to the crime. Dave was the bureau chief of a Gujarati newspaper called Jai Hind in Junagadh in Saurashtra region. With a quick break here, but more news follows in a bit. Stay with us.
The same Mehbooba Mufti who used to go and sympathize with the people, suddenly she doesn't have the courage.
The pre-electoral rhetoric on the one hand and failure to implement the agenda of alliance that has undermined the credibility.
Baluchistan word appeared after 7 years. Do you see this as a bargaining chip with Pakistan for the next month's United Nations Assembly?
In Kashmir, people are getting killed and pellet guns are being used. There's no argument that that's happening in Balochistan.
Watch To The Point with former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir and veteran PDP leader Muzaffar Hussain Beg only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's get you some international news now. And tensions in the Korean Peninsula are on a high, with North Korea test firing yet another missile defying UNSC resolutions. The launch has been condemned by all its neighbors, including North Korea's long-term ally, China.
North Korea fired a submarine-launched ballistic missile off its east coast on Wednesday, the latest in a string of launches in defiance of the UN Security Council resolutions. The North test-fired the missile in the early hours of Wednesday near the coastal city of Sinpo.
북한이 오늘 새벽 또다시 잠수함 발사 탄도미사일 SLBM을 시험 발사했습니다. 우리 군 당국은 비행 기술이 상당한 수준에 도달해 1-2년 안에 실전 배치될 수 있다고 분석했습니다.
The missile launch has been criticized by all quarters. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe called the launch unforgivable as it posed a grave threat to Japan's security.
込まれたのは初めてのことであります。我が国の安全保障に対する重大な脅威であり、地域の平和と安定を著しく損なう許し難い暴挙。
유엔 안보리 결의를 위반하면서 핵실험, 탄도미사일 발사 등 연이은 도발을 지속한 데 이어 또다시 SLBM 발사를 감행한 데 대해 이를 강력히 규탄한다.
China, a long-time ally of North Korea, called on all sides to refrain from actions that could increase tensions. It joined South Korea and Japan in urging North Korea to stop the provocation.
半岛形势复杂敏感，我们认为呢，所有有关各方都应当避免采取可能导致局势紧张的举动。
The launch comes 2 days after rival South Korea and the United States began annual military exercises that North Korea condemns as a preparation for invasion. The North had threatened retaliation the day the exercises started. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
A devastating earthquake rocked Italy early on Wednesday, collapsing homes with residents trapped inside as they slept. At least 73 people were killed and 150 missing after the 6.2 magnitude earthquake hit a mountainous area of the country. Rescue work is on to look out for survivors trapped under the debris. Officials fear the toll is expected to rise.
Residents of central Italy woke up to scenes of devastation on Wednesday morning after a strong earthquake rocked the heart of the country. The quake of 6.2 magnitude struck around 3:30 a.m. when most residents were asleep. The quake caused serious damage in towns and villages, including capital Rome. The epicenter was around the town of Accumoli, where several people died. Many of the dead victims were in the village of Pescara del Tronto that was leveled to the ground. Entire areas of the Amatrice township were flattened, while debris filled the streets of Accumoli.
Spavento, un boato forte, si muoveva tutto, ecco. Non riuscivamo a alzarci senza luce, senza niente, senza soccorsi. Non abbiamo soccorsi di nessuna maniera.
Non lo so, aspettiamo, vediamo che succede, non so nulla. Sono una disgrazia più che altro perché questo poi non mi è successo, 65 anni, così non me lo ricorderò mai, una cosa così, sempre piccole scosse, situazioni, piccoli terremoti, ma questo è così per una catastrofe, pensavo di questa cosa.
The mayor of Accumoli described desperate scenes as rescuers raced against time to try to save the people trapped under the rubble.
Lì c'è un appartamento di proprietà comunale affittato a una famiglia e è crollato, come vedete. In quella stanza ci sono padre, madre e 2 bambini, uno di 8 mesi e uno di 9 anni.
Pope Francis called for prayers for those affected by the disaster.
A tutte le persone presenti nei luoghi colpiti dalle scosse, a tutte le persone che hanno perso i loro cari e a quelle che ancora si sentono scosse dalla paura e dal terrore.
The worst hit towns were believed to be Accumoli, Amatrice, Posta and Arquata del Tronto. Meanwhile, a search for survivors continues after authorities said they can't put a figure on the number trapped under the rubble. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Rio Olympics bronze medalist wrestler Sakshi Malik got a rousing welcome when she returned from Rio today. The 23-year-old was felicitated at a grand function organized by the Haryana government, where she was handed a cheque of 2.5 crore rupees and was made the state's brand ambassador for the Beti Padhao Beti Bachao program.
After creating history at the Rio Olympics, wrestler Sakshi Malik received a hero's welcome on Wednesday. The Olympic bronze medalist arrived at the Indira Gandhi International Airport in the morning amid cheers and jubilation. Calling it a proud moment to be the flag bearer for India, Sakshi thanked the entire nation for its support.
मैं सबको बहुत बहुत थैंक यू करना चाहती हूँ। पूरे हिंदुस्तान ने मेरा साथ दिया, तो मैं सबको बहुत बहुत थैंक यू। इतना सपोर्ट किया उन्होंने और इतना वार्म वेलकम किया, तो सबको बहुत। मेरा ये सबसे बड़ा सपना था कि मैं ओलंपिक्स जाऊँ और देश के लिए मेडल लाऊँ। तो ये 12 साल से मैं इसके लिए मेहनत कर रही थी, तो आज पूरी हुई है।
The 23-year-old girl from Rohtak also expressed happiness at getting the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award. She called on the youth, especially females, to take up sports and bring laurels to the nation.
जिम्मेदारी अभी तो सेंटर्स हैं, गवर्नमेंट ने इतनी अच्छी अच्छी फैसिलिटीज़ भी की हैं, जगह जगह रेसलिंग के सेंटर हैं, तो लड़कियां आए, वहाँ कोचेस भी हैं और वो वहाँ रेसलिंग सीख सकती हैं और मैं अपना गेम भी मतलब साथ अच्छे से कंटिन्यू करूँगी। तो बस यही है कि आओ और रेसलिंग करो या जो भी कोई भी गेम करो, देश का नाम दो।
Later, Sakshi was accorded a rousing state reception by the Haryana government at a grand felicitation function in Bahadurgarh. She was handed a cheque of 2.5 crore rupees by Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar and appointed Haryana's brand ambassador for the Beti Padhao Beti Bachao program.
जो बेटियां ऐसा कोई भी पराक्रम करती हैं उनको आदर्श मान करके और समाज में एक चेतना हो, जागृति पैदा हो, इसलिए हमने इनको अभी ये मेडल लेकर के आई हैं। हरियाणा में इनका नाम हुआ है, इसलिए इनको बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ का एम्बेसडर बनाया है और निश्चित रूप से इसमें जनता को जागरूकता हो।
Sakshi came from behind in the dying seconds of the bout to turn the tables on her Kyrgyzstan opponent to clinch India's first medal at Rio Olympics. Her bronze medal also made her the first Indian female wrestler to win an Olympic honor. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's all we have for you on the news tonight for today. Thanks for joining us.